name is Becky Pearson, and I teach public health at Central. And I'm here today to talk to you about making a black bean burrito bowl for the kit that you received from the library. So this is the easiest thing ever, and it's actually really adaptable. You can change any part of this to meet your tastes or dietary needs. If you can't eat one thing and you like another thing, then go ahead and change it. But so today, I've used black beans from a can and bulgur as the base. And bulgur is a whole grain. It's a really easy to use whole grain. And it's just a twist on, if you'd rather use rice, use rice. If you'd rather use quinoa, use quinoa. But it's an easy grain to get your head around and start using. What you do is you take 1 measure of the bulgur to 2 measures of boiling water. And so I've already done that. I have a bowl here with 1 cup of bulgur and 2 cups water. And you just let it sit. You pour the boiling water over and you let it sit until you decide it's done. So this bulgur has been sitting here for about 22 minutes. And it can sit anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, depending on the texture you like it. So it's just soaking up that water. And if you let it sit more, if we let it sit for a full hour, probably all the water would be soaked in. If you like it the texture it is after about 20 minutes, just go ahead and drain off the water and use it right then. It's very, very chewy at the 20-minute mark, and if you keep it going, it'll get softer and softer. So that's your call. Use the bulgur however you'd like to. So, again, we have canned ingredients. We have canned black beans. We have canned whole kernel corn. We have canned sliced olives. And we have canned salsa. And this is what they call a salsa casera. It's hot, but it's not excruciatingly hot. And again, you can choose your own salsa. If you don't like olives, don't use olives. If you want to chop up an avocado for the top, do that. You'll see in the recipe, so I'm using the same recipe that you got with the kit. And you'll see in the recipe that it says, here's the basics. Then it says, here's the extras, and that's not provided in the kit. And that includes dairy, in case you want grated cheese or sour cream, anything like that. If you want sliced green onions, if you want jalapenos, if you want a different kind of hot sauce or something, or again, if you want avocado on top. And then it goes from there, the ingredients and the extras, to the instructions. So again, here's the bulgur. If you want, you can also cook it on the stove. So it says on your recipe that you can stir the bulgur into boiling salted water and then simmer it for 10 to 12 minutes, right? But it's just as easy, maybe even easier, to boil some water in a kettle, pour it over, and let it sit. So first, after we have that going, we're going to slice the tomato. And oftentimes, for a tomato, I'll use a serrated knife, which may not make sense, but I do that because sometimes tomatoes are so ripe that it's really hard to get them started with just a sharp knife. This one's pretty firm. It's a Roma. You may not think of Romas as something that you would put in a general meal. You might think of them only for spaghetti sauce, but they are really cheap, and they are a good texture for lots of different types of meals. So I'm just going to start cutting it, and I don't have perfect knife skills. Maybe you do, but I'm just going to cut it down, and then when I get it cut down this way, I'm going to cut it a couple of different times, right, so that we end up with no fingertips in, but we end up with kind of a dice that you're just going to put on top. You know, these are kind of strips, and I'm just going to go back in and cut them again until I'm happy with the shape of the tomato pieces. Just a little squares for the top. I always use the whole thing of whatever, unless it's really hard in there. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that up. That way you're not throwing anything away or composting anything, you're just using it all. Now, keep in mind this recipe that you have says it's for 4 bowls, and it is. So this is going to make 4 servings for you. So I have a kind of a standard sized, small-ish cereal-looking bowl, and so I'm just going to put together 1 serving, but you received ingredients for 4 servings, which is kind of cool. When you go to use canned beans or anything like that, I typically will rinse them, and the only reason for that is to take away the extra salt, because this is going to have plenty of flavor, and you can add your own salt. You don't need the salt that comes in the can. So I just dumped the black beans, first of all, into a colander, set it over a bowl, so that's draining. And I'm just going to take it to the sink and pour cold water over it to rinse them a bit. So I'll dump that out. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but that's okay. And rinse the black beans. And again, just keeping them in the colander over a bowl takes away your mess. Makes it just easy. So we have the canned beans drained and rinsed. I'll do the same thing with the corn. And I'm going to get a separate bowl here and put these beans into the bowl so that I can do the same thing with the corn and with the olives. And be careful with the lid if you did what I did and left it in the can at the same time you were draining and rinsing. Alright, so there's the drained and rinsed beans. We're going to do the corn now. Again, we'll just pour it down through the colander. And again, rinsing isn't critical, but if, like most people, you're trying to get a little less salt in your diet, it's an easy way to help you do that. So again, here we'll pour corn into the colander, and we will go ahead and drain it off. Again, I'm going to the sink so you can't see me for a moment. I'm just pouring some cold water over the corn, and again, just dumping it out and bringing the colander and the corn back over here. Grabbing another bowl because clearly I didn't prepare, and we're going to dump the corn into that bowl and then start again, and we'll drain and rinse the olives, and that's all we have to drain and rinse. And again, so I'm walking the olives over to the sink so you can't see me for a moment. Rinsing them with a bit of cold water and just bringing the colander and bowl back. Alright. So we've sliced the tomato, and whether you would think of that as a true dice or a rough cut, whatever works, right? You just cut it into small bits that'll be fine for the top of your bowl. And now it's been about 40 minutes with this bulgur that I had done the 2-to-1 ratio, again, poured boiling water over it and let it sit. So easy, especially in the heat of the summer. That means you don't have to turn on your stovetop, and you're just letting it sit while you do other things. I tasted it a minute ago. It's nicely chewy. First again, a little chewy. So you could let it sit more. You could even pour more boiling water over it, and then the only thing is that you probably have to drain some off. But you can use it at any point. And so what you do, once you've cooked that, diced your tomato, drained and rinsed your canned items, is you make a decision. Do you want all your toppings to be stirred together? Some people like a bowl like that. Do you want them in nice sections? Do you want them layered? You can do this any way. Any way that your bowl looks right to you, any way that you like to do it. So first, all we're going to do is put a scoop or two of the bulgur into the bowl. Oops. Then we're going to take some lettuce. And in your kit, you'll find that you have shredded lettuce. I like that best. It's just fun. In fact, in my house, we kind of call it vegan cheese, which is just really dumb, right? But we think of shredded lettuce as just kind of like grated cheese, and that's how we use it. But at any rate, so you have shredded lettuce. I wasn't able to find shredded lettuce when I went shopping to make the video, so I got a regular just iceberg mixed with carrots and cabbage and such. If you want to, you can just do it like this, just do a little cutting. Again, I don't have perfect knife skills. You might, and so this may look really funny to you. But this is how I would do it. I would just cut this down like this, so it's almost like shredded lettuce. And I'm going to put that on top of the bulgur. I'm just going to lay that across there, and it just makes a nice little bed. And as you can see, so there's what my bowl looks like right now. A little bit messy, because again, I don't have perfect kind of kitchen skills, but I get things done. So we're going to take the beans. We're going to put some beans, right? Remember, this is for 4 servings. So if you're someone who eats a lot of beans, like eats beans most days, you might say, well, I want more beans, and that's completely fine. But this recipe is designed to take a can of beans and make it into about 4 people's lunch or dinner or snack or whatever. So you're going to put beans on, and obviously when I did this, I just did it as a layer. Again, you might be someone who wants to kind of cut it into a triangle, say, put the beans over here, put the corn over there, right? Any way you want to do it is fine, okay? Here's the corn. I'm just going to put a scoop or 2 of corn. Then I'm going to add the olives. And some people don't like olives, but if you do, you do. I find them fun and pleasing. I'm going to add some tomato. I'm going to add a little salsa. And then, this is done. This is your basic vegan burrito bowl using canned black beans, canned corn, canned olives, canned salsa even, and bulgur as a base, lettuce in the middle somewhere. Again, you can do anything you want to this. You can get in your fridge and grab sour cream, grab grated cheese, grab green onions if you have them. You can grab an avocado. You can grab guacamole if you happen to make that avocado into guacamole. But right now, for this recipe, you're actually done if you want to eat it. And again, it's very quick, very inexpensive, actually, and a really whole foods plant-based meal. So, enjoy.